You're all good. I hope you're all well. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Tisha Oliphant. This channel is all about corporate life. It is about traveling and also about investing once you've earned an income or dividends or revenues, because we or a salary, we all make money in different forms. And I'm coming through to say I'm born and bred in South Africa. I love this beautiful country. And yes, if you've been here, you know I took a gap year and I traveled for over 6 months, in fact, over 7 months to be exact, to different countries. And I just want to say, Tsigizo, my baby, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I just want to say, South Africa, it is such a beautiful country. I've seen beautiful countries as well, but it always remained in my heart and as my country of birth. I knew ukuthi no matter what, home is home. Even if one day I were to pack and go and look for greener pastures, where people say where there's greener pastures, there's more, we know what, manure, I'll definitely will be coming back every now and then, because this is such a beautiful country. And I want to come in today and say thank you for your support. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching my ads. Thank you for everything. And I'm asking, more especially for people who are not South Africans, to please think of us, uh, keep us in your prayers, because tomorrow is a big day for South Africans. We'll be going out in numbers, those who can, those who wish to cast our vote. And 2024, 29th of May, will remain in the history of South African books for the generation and generations to come. And if you are a South African and you'll be voting, I wish you nothing but the best. And I would like to urge everyone to vote with their minds rather than their hearts, and look at your personal situation and ask yourself, what has the government done for you personally? You know, I often hear people saying, I work for an awesome, a big company. I work for a company that generates big profits or awesome profits. But are you benefiting from those great results? So ask yourself, I'm in this beautiful country. Is it serving me? And make the right decision tomorrow, because after tomorrow, you can't sit and complain if you didn't do what you need to do. Ask yourself, am I employed? And if you are unemployed, what are the reasons? How can you turn things around? How can you put someone in power who can create jobs? Who will that person be? So it is very important. If you've raised your kids with dreams and hopes and prayers that tomorrow they'll amount to something big, and now you look at them, they are really struggling. You know, they end up turning into something else and start behaviors that you never thought your kids will have, or they end up as consuming and becoming addicted because they are idling. And we know an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Think twice. Encourage them to also make the right decision tomorrow when they vote. If you are sitting there, we talk things, all things finances, and you know, Gucci, you are in debt, you are drowning, and not because, of course, you made wrong decisions, but some of your debt, in fact, good debt. You had to, or you were forced to take those debts. You were forced to take a loan to take your kids to schools because you want a better future for them. Look into that situation and say, what can you do to change things around, where you can be debt free and the politics of this country do not affect. Instead, they contribute positively. The interest rates is crazy. People are losing their homes. Cars are being repossessed because, guys, the salaries tend to just increase a little bit if you are blessed to have a salary increase, or remain stagnant for a while, and yet everything else is going up. So let's use our brains, let's go out and try and make a difference. It doesn't always mean whoever you're gonna vote for will be put into a power. But when you know, Gucci, you've played your parts, you've also planted a seed in your own way. You took it in this bull by its horn way. Now you're not gonna blame anyone tomorrow. You're gonna say it is what it is, whatever the outcome, but I did stand up and leave my house and to stand with you, and I did cast a vote. I did put Leo back to make a difference. And look into your own situation. There's people who say, you talk about wills, you talk about life covers, you talk about funeral covers. I don't even have those things. I don't even think of those things. I don't even dream about those things. You traveled for the world for over 7 months. I can't even. And it's not because some of those people, they have different priorities. Of course, there's people who chooses. We all have different desires and different dreams. But there's people who wishes to travel. There's people who wishes to buy a home. Guys, a home is not, oh, you've made it. A home is a need for everyone. It's not a want. There's people who can't even buy a home, a shelter for their kids because houses are very expensive. And why is that? It is linked to our politics. So let's do the right thing. Let's vote for people who will provide jobs for our youth, for people who will go back to our training centers and revive them, for our kids to have opportunities to go back and study about different trades and or plumbing. Let's just vote for people who will make sure we no longer buy bread with such a crazy amount. Even if you want to bake your own bread, the flour doesn't cost you that much. Let's vote for people who will make sure that the hospitals are in a state that is decent for a human being. You don't go into a hospital and you just leave sobbing because you say to yourself, what kind of a person sleeps here? Let's vote for people who will put the South African citizens in the forefront and put themselves back, because they are voted by us to serve us, not to serve themselves and to line their own pockets and forget about us. This country has so much to give. It is a beautiful country. So much has been done. I'm not going to dispute that. We've got people who are getting free education, and we appreciate that. We've got people who've got housing for free. We appreciate that. However, we still believe the taxpayers' money can be used to better this beautiful country and take it to the next level. How excited we were when the Gautrain was rolled out to say, oh my word, look, we are now on par with some of the European countries. Let's have more of that. And those projects should create jobs. Those projects should attract investors, because when people pull out, and we've seen, I've heard Gucci Shell is leaving South Africa, I've heard Gucci, one of the mining companies, is leaving South Africa. We cannot have that, but we will have people who will leave if we don't do what is right, if we don't care for this beautiful country, if we say, you know what, damage is already done. We all throw the towels and we just slahlele izandla emoyeni. Then we are not doing the right thing. And this particular channel is not about politics, but everything we talk about here, jobs, pursuing your dreams, investing, are unfortunately linked to our politics. So as a country, let's go out and make the right decisions so that when we talk about investor, no one is left behind to say, how can you tell us to invest when we are unemployed? How can you expect me to share what my dream is and what I'm actually doing at this point in time to make sure that tomorrow my dream does come true when I can't get funding, no one is assisting in terms of putting my business into place. And yes, guys, most of these things are personal. It's left up to us to stand up and get our hands dirty. But you can get them hands as dirty as you want. If there aren't opportunities, you won't go far. If 5,000 of us apply for one job, guys, let's be realistic. No matter how hard we can pray, no matter how many times you wake up and you submit your application, it is just not realistic. But when there's more jobs and we know at least 100 people are applying for this one job, there's at least some chance. Oh, instead of right now you getting regrets and rejections and all that, because the few opportunities that are there cannot even cater for a quarter people who would have submitted their applications. So let's not honestly allow Utando to make us dizzy and forget the reality. And I love people who are honest with themselves, honest even with their own kids. When your own child has failed, you are able to say, I am so disappointed because I didn't raise this child to be like this. And the same principle should apply where when you had a hope and you believe, you would see this particular person will turn things around and they fail to do it. To be able to be vocal and be honest would mean that this is what I was expecting. And since it didn't happen this way, then it means I ought to go back to a drawing board. Let us not carry on as though we don't see what the problem is and pretend as though all is well. Because if we all pretend this situation is fine, there'll be nothing left for our future generation. I promise you, as we will be casting our votes, we were promised load shedding is coming back full force. Although there are talks that there'll be no more load shedding, guys, we know the truth. So let's go there, not blinded. Let's not go there as though we don't have brains. Even if you choose whoever you're gonna choose, don't pretend as though you don't see the situation. And if you are benefiting, that is different. You've got all the rights to say, I am voting for this because ABCD is happening and I can see a difference in my own life. So this is personal, and don't think about yourself only. Think about your children, think about your children's children and your children's children's children. 100 generation. Where is this country going to be? How is South Africa gonna look like in 2085? Ask yourself that question. If you leave it to go down, how is it gonna look like in 2085? If you do your best to allow it to escalate, to improve, to go back to where it was, or even in a better state, you will be proud, even if you will no longer be around, most probably. But wherever you'll be, you'll look back and say, you played your part. So that is my 2 cents worth to say it's a big day tomorrow in the history of SA. I, as a proudly South African, I'll be in those voting stations, casting my vote. And although I'm not sure who I'll be going for, but I will definitely be there to make a mark and choose and build a much better South Africa, even if it's not today, but for the generation to come. So stay well and keep well. And thank you for always being here. Thank you for your comments. And I'm truly blessed to have you. And I shall be back. I shall be back, guys. Yeah, but please do watch my videos because I make sure I do upload every Saturday without fail. And those who do watch, I truly appreciate. Those who do comment, thank you so much. Those who share, guys, you are a star, or you are stars. I love you to moon and back. And those who hit the notification button, and obviously they're here and I can see, thank you, thank you, thank you, and stay blessed. Good night. Yeah.